computers out there in the.
Go ahead, try.
Hi, my name is Edwina Davis, and I'm talking to you today about my situation with the Johnnie Cochran law firm. I was defrauded by an attorney that worked for the Cochran Firm. His name was Mickiel Pete. I went to the Cochran Firm back in 2000, the year 2000, with a number of people. We went for racial discrimination and sexual harassment. Is it done? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And my case was the only one that the attorney took, and I was misled by the attorney. My case settled at a low amount, and I found out later on that my case was valued at more than that. There were also hate crimes going on at my job at Tyco International Corporation, and they covered it up by saying that they put up a letter of apology from the person that hung the noose up in the maintenance area. My family.
So they hung a noose at your job?
Yes, they hung a noose in the maintenance shop where no black males were working, only one, and they got rid of him. And then they would.
They got rid of who?
One.
The black male?
Black male.
So
and then there was
he
another
suffered
one.
race discrimination, a noose hanging up, and he's the one that they got rid of.
No. They got rid of that one, and then another one was testing to go into the maintenance area.
See.
And then they hung up the noose the day that I think he got his results back from passing his test.
Wow.
And he chose not to go into the maintenance shop because he feared for his life.
Wow.
When I went to the Cochran Firm, they told us that that case had no relevance because the company did do something about it, and they put up a letter of apology, so that wasn't a strong case. My case was the only one that was taken.
Your sexual harassment
case? Harassment case.
Okay.
And the two of the people that were going to file on a discrimination case with me were also my witnesses for my sexual harassment. One is actually on trial for murder. Actually, he has been sentenced for murder. And the other one was arrested within several weeks after we met up with the Cochran Firm and Larry Cook at Coca-Cola.
Now, you told me that you really have no reason to think, or there is reason to seriously doubt whether either one of these men did anything. In other words, these cases could have been, these criminal cases could have resulted from them being witnesses concerning the racial discrimination and your sexual harassment at Tyco International Corporation, as far as you know.
Yes.
So they could be wrongful convictions.
Exactly.
Okay.
My settlement was settled. My case was settled.
The sexual harassment case.
The sexual harassment case was settled. I guess they realized that I wasn't going to back down, so they defrauded me by bringing me into the office. Andrea Towson was the attorney that actually supposed to handle the case, who we supposed to met with that night.
And this was which Cochran Firm office?
The
Atlanta?
Cochran Firm on Peachtree Street.
In Atlanta, Georgia?
In Atlanta, Georgia.
Did they identify themselves to you as being the Cochran Firm?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Because, well, you know, when my family, the Neal family sued the Cochran Firm, and we brought the case downtown Atlanta, they got the judge to say that there is no such thing as a Cochran Firm office in the state of Georgia. You were kind of shocked when I told you that.
Yes, I was. I was very, very
Because
shocked.
they told you they the Cochran Firm.
They told me they were the Cochran Firm.
Okay.
And I also had a
They
business
tell everybody
card.
they the Cochran Firm, but in court they're allowed to lie, and the judges go along with the lies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think they're part of the New World Order, and their program is against black people. But we'll just move on from that. Go ahead.
Okay. And once my case was settled and I realized I was supposed to actually got more, he actually dismissed my case. He left my case left the court docket by him saying that he had to take my case off the court calendar to amend my complaint.
Okay.
He never had
So
no
you
intention.
already had the case before court when he took your case.
Yes, I had went and submitted my own papers to the courts.
Okay, and so what happened is that the Cochran Firm wanted to get that case off the court calendar.
Right.
Your
exactly.
case against Tyco International.
Yes.
So in order to do that, he had to let you, you know, he had to say he'd represent you.
Yes.
And then what he did was, and this is Mickiel Pete, what he did was he got your permission to go and pull the case you had filed.
Yes.
Sexual discrimination, sexual harassment.
Right.
actually your boss was touching on you, right?
Yes, he touched my breast.
And you had all kinds of proof. You had evidence.
Yes, I had.
You had witnesses.
Recorded tape.
You had a tape recording of what?
Of my supervisor admitting that he did touch my breast because he thought I was a nice person.
So you had everything you needed to win, and they knew it.
Exactly.
So they got the Cochran Firm. This is what I'm figuring. Because, see, big companies get the Cochran Firm to go in and destroy black people's cases or to minimize their settlement. This is what I've been telling people for years. So you already had a case filed. They didn't file the lawsuit for you.
Right.
You had filed it.
Exactly.
And then this man, Mickiel Pete, Esquire, he signed contract with you to be your attorney. Then he went down there and took your case that you had already filed off the court docket.
Yes, he did. He surely did.
Okay.
And then I went under depositions. I actually was sent to the hospital on an injury, a couple of injuries, and they actually injected me with some medical stuff. I don't know what it was.
Wow.
And my stomach swelled up. I looked like I was 9 months pregnant, and I actually weighed 130 pounds, and my stomach always was flat.
So you feel like it was a reign of terror, and there was several companies involved because you wanted to sue, or you were suing until he took your suit down, Tyco International.
Yes,
is that right?
That's true.
Now, let me ask you this. When you told him that you felt like he mishandled your case after it's settled, what did he say? And you told him, you told me that you told him that, you're not too big to fall.
Right. I told him if Johnnie Cochran knew what type of attorney he was, he would be kicked up out of there and that he will fall. And he said, is that a threat? And
after that, your terrorism got worse, didn't it?
It got worse, exactly.
Well, I thank you so much for sharing it with me. And you saw my name and number when you read about Catherine Justin case and what they did to that family, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And I took it upon myself to get in touch with you because I wanted to see what I could do to, even if I don't benefit from it, to help you.
Well, I appreciate that. It does help. Now that same man, Mickiel Pete, we were talking about him yesterday. After you told me he was your attorney, I looked it up online. He's being sued by the Andersons in Kentucky. That's some more people he went on and defrauded after you.
Right.
Okay? And it says that he's no longer an attorney. And I don't know whether somebody finally took that law license or not. It says retired. And you say he's how old?
He's 46. Should be about 46 now.
Now, you knew him a little bit better than most people know their lawyers. The reason you know his age.
Exactly. Because we had a romantic involvement.
Now, do you feel like that was perhaps to keep you from going forward with challenging them on you not getting your full settlement?
Exactly, and to destroy my workman's comp case that I had pending.
So it has something, his dating you had something to do with destroying that case?
Yes, it did.
How?
Actually, he sent me to an attorney that he knew. And the attorney offered to sleep with me. Asked me that I want to come to his office. It's attorney Roderick Jones in Buckhead. Offered to sleep with me, and he would settle my case.
What kind of lawyering is this?
I don't understand neither.
The Cochran Firm always said they were dogs, and there's a lot of dogs in. Don't laugh.
I'm trying not to. Sometimes
you know what I found at Twitter yesterday? Because I do coffee time. I'm coffee time at Twitter. I said, atomic dog. Why must I be like that?
That's good. That's a
you
good
know what? I have been so stressed.
A pack of dogs.
Yes. Now tell us some more what they did.
I actually ended up, like I said, I had a workman's comp case. I actually ended up going to Wellstar Hospital. Come to find out that Kendall, which was the name at the time, but we were under Tyco Corporation, but it was Kendall.
So you're saying that Tyco became Tyco Corporation?
Exactly.
Okay.
And they
now,
actually sent
Tyco is the company that had nooses hanging up for the black workers and had the bosses who fill your breasts with smoke.
Exactly.
Wow.
Shirts up, all kind of stuff, and then they sat there and anticipating on, I guess, making me feel uncomfortable. I had corporate people standing in the hallway, and the men would pat them on their tail, and I guess that meant you're not going to do anything, nothing's going to happen of this, you might as well give up.
Wow.
They were messing with me.
And you say that go ahead and tell it. It's just too ridiculous.
Okay, and then I ended up going to the hospital, which lack of treatment they gave me. They injected me with something, I don't know what it was, but it made my stomach swell up, like I said. And come to find out, Tyco has dealership with the hospital. They have contract.
What's the name of the hospital?
The hospital is Wellstar Hospital.
Well, you see, the thing that I have found is that all these corporations are tied up with each other.
Exactly.
You see, and what happens is when you challenge one of them, you trying to sue one. They get the Cochran Firm to be the lawyers.
Exactly.
And then these companies get together against you. Mm-hmm. You know, and big organizations like NAACP and others may not help you. Right. In other words, the New World Order, which is the idea that corporations unite against regular people.
Exactly.
It's already, people don't know it until they go against one.
Exactly.
And then they find out what you and I have. Mm-hmm. You know, it's terrible.
There's no help for the hard workers of every day.
That's right.
People that built this country.
That's right.
Of honesty and sweat.
That's right. Because the big companies have gotten together against us now. Mm-hmm. You stand up for yourself because you don't want your breast felt when you walk by. Mm-hmm. By your supervisor.
Right.
And you go to the Cochran Firm. Mm-hmm. And they make you get the smallest settlement in the world.
Exactly.
And then you find out later that you should have gotten so much more, especially with the evidence you had. Mm-hmm. You had the tape, you had the witnesses. Mm-hmm. Then 2 witnesses that you had end up going to jail on what they claim is wrongful convictions.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's amazing. Go on and tell us some more.
Let me see. I also wrote Congressman Bob Barr. I don't know what good that did because the EEOC wouldn't even give me my paperwork. They told me it was 17 cents a page, which was QP Jones and Richard Sapp. All of these people together were coercing against me because I was a single woman standing up by myself. The EEOC gave me the runaround for a long time until I told them I was going to go to the news people.
Well, I got news for you. If they all were in it together, the news people may not have helped either. Because you see, what I'm speaking from experience. Mm-hmm. The news here in Atlanta, the news in the nation, mm-hmm. when I told them that the Cochran Firm had the judges right here in Georgia, at Georgia Superior Court, to say that they didn't exist in Georgia, do you think that's a big story?
That is.
They never published it. The only people who know it are the people who read articles by Mary Neal at Free Speak blog or follow me at Twitter where I'm Coffee Time, KOFFIETIME. And I'm so glad that I'm so glad that you found my article and that you called me. Mm-hmm. And it's a miracle your phone call got through. Right. But then when we talked some more and they knew you and I planned to meet today, all of a sudden we couldn't talk on the phone anymore, could we?
No, we couldn't.
What happened?
Our phone calls were disconnected. You couldn't reach me and I couldn't call out.
You couldn't call out on your phone?
No, I couldn't.
At all?
At all.
Well, I called the police and I told them in DeKalb County and Cobb County, I told the police in both counties that I was unable to reach you, that you've been stalked, you've been terrorized like I have, after getting dissatisfactory service from the Cochran Firm and letting them know that we did. Mm-hmm. How long have you been under this reign of terror, and how did they affect you financially?
Since I've been under the reign of terror since 2000, since I really started actually working and started complaining to my corporate, to the human resource people at Tyco.
About the sexual harassment
about
you were doing.
Yes. And when I went to my new job, it followed me there. I had stuff that happened to me at my new job. No arrests were made on Mike Rotundo, which was Honey Baked Ham. I had a sexual assault complaint against him, and they just did a cover-up. People was coming to my church. They were in my church, actually following me at church.
But what about also, you had a recent job, and you feel like you were let go because of some situations dating back to the Johnnie Cochran Firm Fraud.
Yes, that was Honey Baked Ham.
Is that right?
Yes.
What made you feel like they may be connected?
Because I was living in Alpharetta, And the name Mickiel Pete was in one of my friend's books whose house I lived in.
So, just his name, or maybe he wanted him for an attorney or something. Was it a business card, or was it
was
like
an actual book, like a day planner book? A day planner.
Is that right?
Yes, and my phones were destroyed with phone calls what would have connected me and Mickiel Pete. Phone calls were destroyed. My phones were destroyed with Mike Rotondo's name, who was the district manager at Honeybake Ham. Everything that I needed as proof was destroyed.
Is that right?
Exactly.
So in other words, it seems like there was an organized effort to stay in your life, to track you and try to destroy credibility to anything you had to say about being harassed like this.
Yes.
I'm not surprised, and you know I'm not. And after you and I talked, your phone was turned off. And it ain't that it isn't because of a bill situation. It isn't because of a repair situation. You can't use your phone for any purpose, and there's no explanation.
Right. No explanation.
And when you tried to call me from using another phone, it told you couldn't get through, right?
Right.
Well, we certainly appreciate you coming and sharing this with us. Is there anything else you feel like we need to know?
No, just people who are being victimized, they need to step forward, come forward, and we all need to stick together and
That's
take
right.
down these corrupt people.
That's right. They need to be taken down. You know that the Cochran Firm is being sued by the Andersons in Kentucky for the Cochran Firm fraud that they suffered. And it was Mickiel Pete, the same man who defrauded you. And also they're being sued in California by the Jacksons. They defrauded that family. A woman had a head injury. The Andersons had a death. And of course my family, Larry Neal, the wrongful death of Larry Neal, they covered up for Memphis Shelby County Jail. And what they're doing is going throughout the country and defrauding black people on behalf of major corporations and the police.
Right.
So this is what they do. And now they're being sued by 2 and 3 at a time.
Right.
And I'm so glad that you came forward, because if our story may help the Andersons,
Right.
our
Exactly.
story may help the Jacksons, our story may help someone else who's being stalked and censored to know that you're not alone.
Right.
This is the program. It's called racketeering. And we have the RICO Act for that. So let's come forward. If you're one of the people who is being defrauded by the Cochran Firm, if you're one of the people who is being gang stalked and censored and terrorized, what do they need to do?
They need to come forward.
They need to come forward.
Yes, and stick together.
We need to stick together.
Exactly.
You know, and you can do just like Miss Edwina Davis did. That is, I got your last name right?
Yes.
Because we've just been on first name basis, just friends from the beginning. She called me, and my number is 678-531-0262. She called me, and I'm so glad you did, Edwina. And we talked, and she's been on the radio today on the Reverend Pinckney show, and she's going to be back on the radio next Sunday, right after Thanksgiving, on the Reverend Pinckney show. She's reaching out for help, because you see, they're doing financial terrorism against her. It's affecting her on her jobs that she's had since Tyco. And with me, they don't even let my emails get through to her job. So what they do is they do financial persecution for you telling on them. Is that right?
That's true. That is so true.
Now, Edwina and I are going to tell you something right now. I'm going to get up here with the camera too, because I want